Hello, everyone. Happy to meet you. I hope that you can have some fun time next 20 minutes discussing why hackers are keep building or like stop building on your protocol. This talk is actually made for more protocols itself, not the hackers, but you can perhaps like see this and maybe come back to me and tell me if it's right or if there's any more reasons. First, I am Eomji, head of research and programs at Encode Club. Encode Club is education community. Perhaps some of you already met us because we officially work with the East Denver team to making a Solidity bootcamp for 8 weeks a few weeks ago. We are training Web3 talents through different programs like bootcamps, hackathons, accelerators, and workshops. And afterwards, we are helping our community members to getting a job so that they can land in Web3 nicely, or they're securing the fundings because they're working on their own projects. So now let's talk about hackathon. Why hackathon? I love hackathon. I used to go to hackathon a lot before joining Web3. I used to go to like a weekend hackathon with my husband and then building some stuff for fun, learning new things. It's a lot of fun there. And now I'm making hackathon. We talk a lot about hackathon with hackers and also protocols, bounty givers. We always talk about what is good and why we need to build it. Let's check it out a little bit. For hackers, you're gonna make friends, you're gonna hang out with the community, learn something new, test your skills, get feedback, win prizes. It's very straightforward. But for bounty givers, aren't you curious why protocols are giving bounties to you? So they want to test their product. They want to find a different solution for a problem they have. Or they want to inspire the community so that they want to communicate with you. Or they raise the awareness of their own protocol. Or they find the talents they need, so they want to hire someone, or they want to manage their brand. So there's a lot of reasons why protocols want to support hackathon, and there's some mismatching expectation can create a little conflicts. So I have been asked a lot of times what comes after hackathon. There's a lot of things we talk about why we should come to hackathon, but we don't talk about what's next. There's some hackers, maybe some of you have been hackathon multiple times, and now you're thinking if I should keep building it or not. Or protocols have been seeing same hackers several times, and they're wondering where to get the new hackers, or they're wondering if they need to keep supporting old hackers. So all those kind of things I wanted to talk about today with you guys. First, before jumping in there, I wanted to share a little numbers. So these numbers are the numbers of the Encode Club at 2022. We have run 23 hackathons over the year. 5,500 unique hackers has been attending our hackathon. So you can imagine if some hackers attended multiple hackathons, number is going to go up, but this is unique number. And 1,200 hackers have been submitting. And many of them have been coming to our accelerator or bootcamp afterwards. So we had a direct contact with them to have a discussion why they're moving around. On the other hand, we are working with a lot of different protocols so that we could closely look at their journeys afterwards. So what kind of questions I have been asked? So after multiple winning at hackathons, hackers were really confused if they should keep building their projects going further or they should keep doing bounty hunting, just keep building new things. Because often it's not about if you're interested in bounty hunting itself, for them it's a simple problem. But for example, if you are, securing the micro grants, so you are now building some projects, but then you are getting invited to different hackathons building new things because they want to see your skills, they want to test something new, then you need to ship your stuff. You don't have a time. And then you are a little bit confused about the messages that if you need to keep building something new, or you need to continue your journey with your original projects. And similar questions come from the protocol side as well. We need to support the same hacker who is winning every hackathon. But they love those hackers, right? We are contributing to the ecosystem. But how can you then support new hackers? Why? How can you make this one not game of some just smaller core developers who are enjoying this hackathon, and we are making a barrier for the new hackers? Or if you don't give a good price to hackers, they will not take our bounties. Let's give a lot of money, or we shouldn't give money. There's a lot of questions coming to the protocols as well. If it's the right incentives to give a lot of prizes, or what kind of supports they need to provide. Especially hackers are looking for different types of initiatives and incentives out there. If you cannot segment it well, you cannot give the right support. So in this talk, I'd love to share like what kind of journeys hackers are going through, what kind of hacker types are existing, and what protocols can do for that. Overly simplified version, there's like 4 types of hackers. One is like who wants to learn, just have fun around. So perhaps they're coming to hackathon, they already have a job, or like they are not interested in like keep continuing something, but for that time being, they just like to learn or building something new. Second, who is looking for a job. So they're actively looking for something in Web3. They want to get a job, so this is their portfolio. And then another one is like they want to build their own project. So they want to become a founder. They want to get funding afterwards, so that this is another activity for them to get exposure and meet new hackers. And then another one is like bounty hunters who want to just win the prize due to perhaps financial incentives. So they're going through different hackathons so that they can secure some, let's say, nice prize money. If your protocol here, is there any group you don't want to accommodate in your hackathon? If you thought about one group now, you should rethink about that. You don't want to support them in your hackathon because of certain incentives you think that it's not matching to yours. You need to design your hackathon track differently to make them contributing to your ecosystem in different way, not kick them out or try to like, discourage them to joining that. Just we need to think about how to segment them differently and providing different workshops and bounties so that they can come along. So the problem comes from wrong matched expectation. Perhaps many of you thought about these cases first, that some hackers coming to hackathon to get like bounty monies, they're not interested in keep building. But then protocols want them to stay, and they want you to become a founder of the protocol or working there. It's quite common cases, right? You're going to be perhaps contacted by protocols a lot. What I want to say here is like it's completely okay someone come for like money bounties. It's quite normal that we are spending our time putting effort to earn something. So what should we do here is perhaps we need to retune our expectation that they're testing your products. They're perhaps like giving you feedback regarding your documentation. They make some project which can inspire someone, so they're your extended DevRel engineer. They're not working for you full time. They make some prototype for you. The other's gonna be watching that and maybe take that idea and gonna build a project on top of it. So they don't need to necessarily stay in your ecosystem, or they don't need to keep building same projects. They can just ignite someone's idea, someone's like inspiration. They can be an inspirational like project. So in this case, like you shouldn't be really mad that they just come for the bounties and go. Just you need to encourage them. How can they try new features, because they're great developers. Normally keep winning like 10 times, they must be really good, right? So either you should encourage them to try new feature, so you test that, or make them like just try some creative solution, even though it sounds like complete bullshit for now, so that someone else can take it and use it as their idea for further projects. So those are the way like we can encourage them and make this relationship a little bit retuning and make it work. Another thing is like there's a lot of different perhaps like wrong match, but another one is like someone who just want to have fun and you want them to work in Web3. So they're like, I met many hackers that they are working in Web2 startups, like AI engineer, cryptography researchers, they're having fun. Blockchain is something their hobby, they want to do something. And then in Web3 protocols want them to work in full time, but they don't really want to. But then like we are suggesting them black or white solution, but it's not true. We have a lot of bounties, right? We have already existing this like a freelancing style of like bounties and serving journeys. So what I usually suggest is like those people can be a part-time contributor. You don't need to convince them to jump into the Web3 right away. You should just offer them in which way they can contribute. For example, like if someone is working for your documentation together, they're a tech writer, they're just interested in learning your new ecosystem. You should provide them some education and let them help you. Or if they're like developers who are like asking to joining and I don't know, expanding like your wallet extension, they want to change some stuff, requesting like pull request. And then you need to acknowledge them because their incentives are not money. They just want to have fun. In that case, you need to acknowledge their effort, try to communicate with them and giving a new chance. If you try to convince them giving a money and work in Web3, they will actually lose their interest. Another thing is hackathon project with a continuity. So there's like a project who want to become a startup, so they are keep building things. And then there's a questions like, can we allow existing projects coming into this hackathon? Should we, how to say that, like disqualify them? So it's true. It's a little bit unfair. If they come with existing projects, they have submitted to maybe 5 different hackathons throughout the year. It's not even like a week ago, but 5 months ago, let's say. Then it's a bit unfair to make them fight with a new project. That's correct. But we need to accommodate both different groups who are like a new hackers, completely new, learning something so that they cannot build very complicated stuff. And then someone who is existing and they want to keep building on top of it. There's multiple ways to hack away. One thing is, what we are usually doing at our hackathon is for existing projects, we ask them to break down their projects. So let's say you are making a racing game and then you want to improve your, let's say, how to say, front end. So then like that person gonna be bring that piece of things to the hackathon. So they're like they can build and test their features, what they want to implement it to their startup in the future, so that it can be a fair game for everyone, but you don't need to waste their time. Waste their time. Because if you are forcing them to completely building something new to join this game, they need to waste their time a lot, and perhaps you are making wrong behavior dynamics because it becomes much sweeter to doing something new and just get bounties instead of working on their own projects. They will leave your protocol because at a certain point you will not be interesting anymore. So another thing is you can design your price structure differently. Sometimes we are making a different structures for the newcomers. So if they are making easy projects, still they can win some bounties. It'll be smaller, but they can still like have some motivation to create like a simple dApps, and then they can go further. So there's a different way to hack this one. Just like you need to rethink about what is your hackathon strategy. So let's a little bit go back to the bounty givers. What was their goal? So there was a lot of different goals. Has been like a test your product, find different solutions for problem, or inspiring your community and so on. But often this conflict come because protocols want to onboard new developers. So this is all like a developer acquisition journey. Otherwise, you wouldn't have this kind of friction because all the other things can be achievable. And then if you're working a protocol, try to like work on the hackathons, you're gonna have like some, how to say that, you need to deliver KPI, right? If you want to use your money giving a bounty away, you want to achieve some goals. And then you need to think about what is your KPI for this hackathon, and you need to think about the stage of your protocol. If you are like an early stage protocol so that nobody even know you, and then they cannot like even, you don't have even proper tutorial. If they're making a project which is exactly same on other chain, just testing all the features you built, maybe that's already a great win. But if you're established protocol and you have already a lot of existing dApp, if super experienced developers are making copy dApp, maybe you don't want to encourage that. But new ones can do that because they can practice their skills. So all those kind of hackathon journeys should be designed differently, depending on their skill sets, their stage, also your protocol stage. And also another thing is what kind of incentives they are looking for. If they're looking for like a money, bounties, or like acknowledgement, there are a lot of developers actually join in this hackathon for fun. It's like a game for everyone. And then you want to be acknowledged, right? You want to get exposure. You want to just contribute to ecosystem. In that case, perhaps at the hackathon, you can acknowledge their project without giving a like big prize and try to support them to grow in your community. There's like some protocols who are trying this very nicely. Some protocols, some existing projects doesn't get any visibility. So this kind of thing should be redesigned so the hackers' journeys and project journeys going to be different per different group. And another thing I would suggest is also like if you are expecting them to test your products, I know this is challenging for every protocol, but we need to really work on documentations and need to come back to them very quick. When we are doing hackathon, I know like how much protocols are working really hard because we are in contact with them directly, but often hackers are waiting for API key 3 days. Or they reported that this tutorial has a typo and it's not working, and it's same after 2 weeks or a month later. This one, it's a difficult challenge, but we need to fix that because if developers doesn't have smooth user journey, they will not stay around and they will think that they will not be heard. We are trying to telling them, explaining a lot how protocols are actually watching you, remember you, and then they try to work on it. It's on their like Kanban, their Scrum. But just as a hackers, if you don't receive that feedback, you don't feel like you get heard, and then eventually they think that this community doesn't fit. So in a nutshell, there's like a few things we need to think about. Bounties, workshops, hacker journeys should be redesigned. You need to think about your KPI if you're sponsoring hackathon. For example, if you want to onboard a lot of new users, like get easy with the challenges. Perhaps smaller prizes, a lot of them. Try to encourage a lot of new hackers. If you want to test new products, you need to design your workshop cleverly so that they can try that. If you want creative solution, you need to build like a workshop around and giving us some thought seeds. And then you need to have a documentation that they can actually fulfill basic boilerplates without any worries. And then, for example, like a hacker journey, after a hackathon, like prize payment should be smooth so that they have a great experience. And afterwards, if you want them to stay around, you need to give them a good feedback. Good feedback here doesn't mean that giving them your project is amazing. Good feedback means that giving a throw feedback about their project, what kind of things they can improve, and acknowledge them. So all these kind of things are not easy to achieve because it's quite customized solution. But this is something you must consider, especially if your protocol is growing, because without this consideration, you will just repeat the hackathons, but without going anywhere because you don't have your own target, and target become very simple number, and that number mean nothing. So this is the talk I wanted to share. And if you're a hacker in this journey, especially multiple winning in different hackathons, you have a feeling that you got lost and you don't know your way. Or if you're working a protocol and realize that you have this problem, we are open to talk. This is my Twitter. My DM is open during the middle week. And also, we are hosting the Pit Hacker House with a job. So nothing happened. So what happened is like we are holding the Pit Hacker House with the Jump Crypto during the week. So there are going to be a lot of different talks and workshops, and also have office hours. If you want to have a chat with us, feel free to visit, and you can DM me. Thank you very much.